Welcome to the newest episode in an ongoing Legendarium series about the plagues that have struck and shaped humanity. In this installment, the Dancing Plague of 1518, we will talk about a time when hundreds of people in the city of Strasbourg suddenly began dancing day and night. It only ended after dozens of people had literally danced themselves to death. One of the most strange and infamous tales from medieval Europe tells of entire villages being stricken with a disease that causes them to dance themselves to exhaustion and sometimes to death. The first such dance occurred in the 900s, and one outbreak in the Rhine River Valley supposedly spread to half a dozen communities. If not for a meticulously documented outbreak in the city of Strasbourg, these tales would likely be dismissed as mere legends. Today, Strasbourg is a part of France, but in 1518 it was part of the Holy Roman Empire. And in July 1518, a woman named FRAU TROFFEA stepped into the street and began to silently twist, twirl, and shake. She kept dancing without rest for 6 days and 6 nights. At first, onlookers laughed and clapped along. Yet over the next 6 days, some of them began to join her. Frau TROFFEA herself collapsed after 6 days of dancing. By then, 30 or 35 other Strasburgers had joined her in dancing in the streets. Upon recovering, Frau TROFFEA rejoined the dance. By August, 400 people were dancing. Growing fearful, city leaders consulted with local physicians. With no other explanation, the physicians blamed the condition on an excess of hot blood within the body. And to learn more about medieval science and medicine, follow the link in the description. The Strasbourg physicians advised the dancers to simply dance the fever out of them. So the town constructed a stage in a guild hall and even hired a band for background music. Sadly, this only worsened the problem, and people began dying from strokes, heart attacks, or even sheer exhaustion. By the height of the Strasbourg dancing mania, 15 people were dying each day. The city leaders realized that their current solution was not working. So they resorted to having men drag the dancers out of the hall. They took the survivors to a nearby mountain shrine, and according to local folklore, they prayed for absolution. At the time, people blamed the bizarre incident on demonic possession. But why did the Strasbourg dancers dance themselves to death? Some investigators believe that the afflicted may have eaten rye bread contaminated by the fungus ergot, which can cause convulsions and even hallucinations. Another study suggested that the dancers belonged to an obscure heretical cult, which believed that dancing in this way would bring divine favor. The most popular modern theory holds that this dance was caused by mass psychosis. And why would so many people have a mental breakdown? This may have been caused by a famine or a smallpox outbreak, and desperate and delusional people simply began dancing in the hope that this would somehow solve the grave problems they faced. That wraps things up for this episode of the Legendarium. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, press like. If you want to see more, press subscribe. And if you've got anything to say, let me know in the comments section. Thanks again for joining me, and I hope that you have a great rest of the day.